I'm Jamie Lima. This is Moonshine Horsepower, Moonshine Harley-Davidson. And right behind me, we have bike number 53. It is a 23.5-year model CVO Whiskey Neat. And this one is the Whiskey Neat Fluffy Seat Build. Woo! Look at that thing. That feels good, man. Harley did a good job. Their new foam, money. This bad boy came to us with the 121 VVT setup in it. Customer elected to go with the Harley-Davidson Screamin Eagle Stage 4 setup. It is a 135 cubic inch build from Harley-Davidson. It comes with a pair of their extreme ported heads, 135 cylinders, 135 pistons. We swapped the cam that was in the kit. We are now running the MHP 588 camshaft in it. It goes to the 68mm throttle body in their kit with their brand new manifold. The heads out of the box, these Stage 4 heads from Harley-Davidson, have plus 2mm oversized valves in them. And the new center cooled head flows a lot of air, which you'll see on the dyno sheet. We did a different cam. We did our exhaust pipe on it. This is the MHP Top Fuel Exhaust. This allows these big cubic inches, anything 117 plus cubic inches to really breathe. Then we changed the springs on the head. We took the factory springs off of the Screamin Eagle heads. We put the Moonshine Horsepower high lift springs on the heads. Those are a PSI spring. They're good to 640 lift, and they have really, really nice lightweight titanium retainers. We're just trying to reduce the overall weight on that side of the rocker arm as much as possible. This exhaust we talked about lots of times. This is the show polished version. So Moonshine Horsepower Top Fuel Exhaust. We make it in 3 different variants. We have the raw. This right here is the show polished. And then we do a black for you guys that want to stay murdered out. Now that we have the engine built and everything ready to rock and roll, to address the other side of the bike, the primary side, it got our comp of power, which is our comp ramp. We went with the Recluse basket and the Recluse torque drive clutch. We just want something that's gonna feel stock and it's able to hold up the wear and tear and hold the horsepower of what you're making, put all that power to the ground. So we love that Recluse torque drive setup. They also have the Apex, which is a little higher dollar setup that we would recommend as well. So on the front of the bike here, for the handlebars and the triple tree, we went with Kraus Moto. As you guys know, if you've been watching the channel, we love their stuff. The main reason is most of the bushings are typically in the top of your triple tree. And when you're going with a setup like this, that's 12.5 total inches of rise, you don't want 12.5 total inches pulling on those rubber bushings. What Kraus Moto did is they removed those bushings from down here where the triple tree is. It is now hard mounted. The new bushing is right here, right below the bar. So you're only talking 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch of leverage underneath that bar. Now this one has a 4-inch rise, so we got about 4.5 inches, but that's a lot better than having 12.5 inches pull on those isolators in their polyurethane. So this has an ODI bar up front with a Kraus Moto kickback and a Kraus triple tree. Cleans up the whole front end, puts the customer right where he wants to be. On the rear, we dialed in the rear suspension with a pair of Ohlins shocks, and we are running the Ohlins brackets that come with the shocks on the back. They're fully adjustable. You have a preload on the spring, on the shock that you have to do a spanner wrench. You have rebound on the bottom of the shock, and your compression is the easiest one to get to. It's right here on the top of your reservoir. So you're capable of dialing that shock in as much as you can do. And of course, customer went with the aftermarket Harley-Davidson seat. So it's out of the P&A catalog. This is just a better seat for your long haul, for your touring setup. It is gonna be nicer on the hiney. Now the dyno sheet on this bad boy, she's pretty intense for the setup it is. 154 foot-pounds of torque, 163 horsepower. But something you'll notice in this dyno sheet, as soon as we roll into the throttle, just over 2,000 RPMs, it's right at 140 foot-pounds of torque, okay? And as soon as it crosses past 3,000 RPMs, the torque starts to grow, and we are getting peak torque at 4,300 RPMs. But something cool about this dyno sheet and the exhaust system is we are carrying 140 foot-pounds of torque all the way past 6,000 RPMs. The exhaust pipe, the MHP Top Fuel system allows us to make a little more ponies. On this system, you know, we've seen a little more than 165 horsepower off of this exact build. This bike has the CVO wheels that have the heavier cast piece on it. So these wheels are actually a heavier wheel setup. So they usually pull a little bit of power down from the dyno because this cast part is heavy and it's the very outside of the wheel. If most of your weight's in here, it's not as bad as having it out here, but they are a very cool look. The spoked wheel, that's basically a non-adjustable spoke. These are a fixed spoked wheel, so you don't really have to maintain them. You just have to make sure the nuts are torqued down to spec and they're gonna stay true. The rim is a little more robust, a little heavier because it's gonna hold its rigidity. It needs to stay straight, it needs to stay true, it needs to stay centered. And that's how they did these wheels. Very, very cool setup, and they don't have them on a lot of bikes. But on the top peak horsepower on this build, it made peak horsepower at 6,250 RPMs, and she clicked just at 163 horsepower. Awesome dyno sheet, really flat torque curve. You have a lot of meat in the torque right in the middle of the RPMs, plenty of torque off the bottom. And when you want to get into the RPMs, anything after 3,500 RPMs and up, the horsepower is just taking over. It's really moving. But of course, just like any dyno graph, the two numbers, they're crossing at 5,250. And that 5,250 where they're crossing, that's about 150 horsepower. So 150 foot-pounds of torque and 150 horsepower is where those two merge. That's impressive. Please subscribe to our channel, and if you want to see something that we haven't done yet, please give us some comments down below. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Click the bell, hit the bell. You want notifications.